$9.99. It's the best Tuesday dining value, $9.99. Kids 5 and under eat free today from that kids menu. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. Stop today after school. Check this out. The Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry is just $7.99. Whoa! That's crazy. From 2 till 5 today, beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh, right near EAA. Walk in today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. MineShaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Election Day is finally here. Keep it tuned here to WTMJ for everything you need to know about the 2024 presidential race. Join us for our special programming starting at 6 p.m. tonight as we go wall to wall through the overnight hours to bring you the latest news and numbers of the presidential race. We are your central headquarters for Election Day coverage. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 101, it is 64 degrees, mostly cloudy, windy, scattered showers this afternoon. A high today, 68. Overnight tonight, breezy, cooler, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 46 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Mike Spalding. Decision Wisconsin Election Day, yes, it's here. High voter turnouts expected across the region.
At midday in Elm Grove, there's been a steady stream of voters since the polls opened. Election officials tell me that 48% of all the registered voters in the village have already submitted absentee ballots. From Elm Grove Village Hall, this is Libby Collins, WTMJ News.
And despite that high turnout, wait times not long at many polling places.
In West Dallas, I'm right outside the Park and Rec Department. In years past, they have had lines around the building, but this time they seem to be running very smoothly inside.
I got tired of all the people sending me messages to vote early because I knew I wanted to vote today.
And as this voter says,
it's our duty as American citizens to vote.
Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin's morning news host Eric Bilstad finds himself in Menominee Falls today.
53% of the voters in this village have already cast a ballot. That said, there's been a steady stream of voters in and out of the Davians Conference Center on Silver Spring, including one woman who told me that she tried multiple times to vote early, but the line at Village Hall was always too long. So here she is today. Now, through the lunch hour, not much of a wait time, only about 10 minutes at most. I'm told that it was quite busy when the polls first opened. In Menominee Falls, Eric Bilstad, WTMJ News.
Waukesha County is among a small group of counties that hold an outsized impact on this election.
Washington, Ozaukee, and Waukesha, or the WOW counties, have traditionally voted red, but over the past 2 election cycles have shifted more purple. The closest race this fall could be in Assembly District 22, where Republican Paul Miletic faces Democrat Dana Glasstein. Much of the WOW County state elections will still lean red, which could prove vital for the party as it hopes to maintain majorities in both houses of the Wisconsin legislature. Additionally, Arrowhead, Hartford, West Bend, and Northern Ozaukee school districts will vote on over $410 million in referenda questions. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Here in the Badger State, polls close at 8 p.m., but that isn't the case around the country. In some cases, some counties are closing as late as 10 p.m., could lead to some late evenings. That's according to the 538's Galen Drew.
If you're taking a look at North Carolina, which we expect to know some data earlier on in the evening, and most of the results we're getting are from rural counties and it favors Trump, well, that's to be expected. Harris is expected to do better in those urban and suburban counties, so maybe we need to wait to get a fuller picture of those places before we draw any conclusions about how, say, North Carolina is going or Georgia or any of the other states.
Again, polls close here in Wisconsin at 8 p.m. And voters are not choosing just the 47th president of the country, but also for the 119th Congress. Each seat in the House is on the ballot today, as well as 34 seats in the Senate. Voters in 10 states, including the key battlegrounds of Arizona and Nevada, are set to decide whether or not abortion rights should be enshrined into law. Time now for some news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow's up right now 368 points at 42,163. The Nasdaq up 228 at 18,408. The S&P 500's up 58 points at 5771. It's financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Details right now at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 105.
Did your home suffer damage from a storm or severe weather? Don't stress any longer. Loyal Family Renovations treats all of its customers like they've joined their personal family, and every project as if the work was being done at their own house. Loyal Family Renovations has a leg up on the competition due to the personal relationships they've built with insurance adjusters over the years. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today to get your free home inspection. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
When you work at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll be helping us help others. There are many that need our help, and we need your help to carry out our mission. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for part-time team members. You'll get competitive pay, benefits, and flexibility in scheduling. So apply online at svdpmilw.org or stop by Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, or 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey, it's 620 WTMJ's Kristen Bry. I officially have a new dentist. I just had my first cleaning and checkup with Dr. James Michaels at Economawalk Dental Care, and I can't say enough about him and his awesome staff. Do you want your best smile for all those holiday family photos that are coming up? Have you not been to the dentist in a while? Do you have a fear of going to the dentist? Whatever reason you have for needing a new dentist, I am here to tell you to go see Dr. Michaels. He understands your apprehension about going to the dentist and will get you on the best care plan to get you confident about your smile. Whether you need a simple cleaning and exam, a teeth whitening, a more complex dental procedure, or even an implant for missing teeth, Economawalk Dental will always make you feel as comfortable as possible and give you and your family an amazing smile. Are you worried about cost? At Economawalk Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry is no longer a dream. It's the reality. Dr. Michael's fantastic staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Call and make an appointment today. You deserve to feel confident about your smile, so go see my new dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economawalk Dental Care.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. It is trade deadline day in the NFL. Things are quiet with the Green Bay Packers so far this afternoon. Not so in the NFC North, though. The Lions execute a trade with the Browns. They do acquire former Packers linebackers Adarius Smith. The window to execute a trade is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And Brewers general manager Matt Arnold named MLB's Executive of the Year by his peers. Taking a look at your roads in your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. A little bit of rain out there. Could be a little wet depending on where you are traveling, but as of right now, no major incidents, no major delays. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly cloudy skies, windy and mild today, high 68. Overnight tonight, breezy and cooler, a low 46. Tomorrow, cloudy, 55's your high. Thursday, sunny skies, 58. Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 60. And on Saturday, partly cloudy and rainy, a high of 58 degrees. In Madison right now, 62. Green Bay, 56. Waukesha, 65. In Milwaukee, it's 67 degrees. I'm Mike Spalding, Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 108.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon and happy election day.
Well, how are you feeling? You broke out your suffragette scarf.
I did.
Are you nauseously optimistic? Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you just going with the flow?
I feel good. If anyone would like to see my suffragette scarf, you can text WATCH to 855-616-1620, and you can see I have both my red lipstick and my suffragette scarf on. But also,
text us your voting story, whether you voted early, whether you voted today, what were the lines like, what was the vibe like. Because I love it. I have people tagging me on social media as far as with their votes, I voted sticker, and I love hearing people's stories of going to vote.
I'm just happy. Yeah, I'm happy that the turnout so far has been very high, even with the early and the absentee ballots. It's nice to see people engaged. I might not agree with how you're engaging, but you're engaged, and that's terrific.
We had electricians at our house this morning who I had not met before because they were referred to us by our general contractor handyman. And I came down. They were walking up the stairs and turned the corner, and I was walking down the stairs, and they don't know me. And I was like, "Did you guys vote today?" And I think I scared them a little bit. And one was like, "Yeah," and then just went back to going to work.
No, I just got out of the joint. I can't vote yet. Okay.
But no, it is. I'm a little verklempt in general. I know we're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show.
Yep.
I think there is, for those of us involved in Milwaukee politics, there is a cloud over Milwaukee today because of the passing of Jonathan Brostoff. So I am certainly feeling that. On top of all the other emotions that I think happen with big days like this, where there is a lot of unknowns of what the outcome is going to be. And so feelings are high. I've realized that I don't know if I'll ever be a great anchor, but I will always be a good
analyst.
Well, and also I think for the human vulnerable factor, I think I'm good at that. But as far as nerves of steel, don't call me for that one.
Well, it's good that you can tap into that humanity and that emotion. Let me ask you this before we know the results, because we have heard over the last 1, 2, 3 elections, and probably every election, that it is the most important election of our time. Now, we know there are some concrete things hanging in the balance with the result of this election. But do you think, in your analyst hat, do you think this is the most important election of our lives, of our country?
I mean, yeah, I just also think that every election is important.
I do. I think they're all
which
important.
Which is, maybe a cop-out answer. And so I think every time people have said that, and it feels like the boy crying wolf every 2 years, because it's whether it's the presidential election or the midterms or whatever, and the fight for the House and the Senate. So yes, I mean, yes, but but not because it wasn't true before this.
Sure.
I think it's just it is the sometimes hyperbolic way that to get people engaged and vote. But I heard DT on the Truth this morning as I was coming in and talking about, if you don't vote, everyone else's vote is weighted more.
That's true.
Right? And
if you sit out,
if you sit out, you are letting other people choose how you get represented.
Yeah.
And I think that is ultimately, the more we can motivate people to understand, to be engaged, to stay informed, and to know that this is how they can impact the community, the city, the state, the country that we live in. It is important, in every election.
It is
important.
People are out there voting, very steady, long lines, at least when I went to vote in Cudahy this morning. So
all right.
It's coming in, and you can text us your voting experience if you voted today.
And so, you're going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I was surprised at how many of our coworkers voted today by the abundance of I voted stickers that were on people's clothes today. I just always figure with work and stuff, it was so much easier to vote early. But listen, I don't care when you vote.
Yeah,
just go vote.
And that's what it was so funny that some of the reactions when I posted my video on Sunday, as far as the long lines on Sunday to vote early. And I got a couple comments on there saying, well, you waited till the last minute. I was like, I'm pretty sure the last minute is like 7 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so I don't know when early voting became the last day of early voting became voting on the last minute.
Well, yesterday was the last day for early voting, obviously, everywhere. But in Chicago...
the last day in
Milwaukee, it was Wisconsin,
Sunday.
it was Sunday. In Chicago, it was yesterday. And there were long lines, and they got the last people who got in line because they had been at one polling place and the line was so long. They went down to the central place. They got in line at 6:58, and they had They had security and cones there, and they said as long as you were
in line,
you were getting to vote.
That is the reminder today. If you are not voting until after work today, stay in line.
Yes.
Get there
just hang
before
out.
8 p.m., stay in line. But my final Journal Sentinel op-ed came out today as far as looking ahead. I had to write something that would still be relevant for when it gets printed tomorrow and printed in the newspaper for Sunday. So I wanted to talk about what we know about our elections and bolster good information to contrast, not even contrast, to combat the bad information. Because we already know that there's going to be bad actors pushing disinformation and misinformation. And so the best thing that we can do is continue to share the accurate information from the resources and the people who have done a lot of work to make sure that we are more prepared in 2024 than we were in 2020 to, fight. I hate using these like fighting words.
But that's what it is.
But you know what I mean? To actually have people have real information about how elections work. And so our next guest, former Republican representative of the 3rd District, Steve Gunderson, is going to join us to talk about what we know about Wisconsin elections, what the process is like, how the certification works, and what we can expect when polls close tonight at 8 p.m. So stay with us when we talk to former Republican Wisconsin Congressman Steve Gunderson after this.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hakinson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Tune in each week as John exposes industry myths for truth seekers looking to navigate their way to financial freedom. What he reveals may surprise you. To learn more about the show and how creative planning can help you build a custom financial plan and portfolio tailored to you and your goals, visit creativeplanning.com/radio. Don't settle for outdated advice. Your money deserves better, and so do you.
Do you have the greatest possible fire protection?
Fire sprinklers protect lives and property in your building.
Are you ensuring that your fire sprinkler system is receiving the proper care that it requires?
Just like the other systems within your building, it is essential that the fire sprinkler system be inspected, tested, and maintained.
Protect your investment and, most importantly, occupants and firefighters by incorporating a regular ITM program in your building.
For more information, visit nfsa.org.
That's nfsa.org.
Here's what Tammy Baldwin thinks about President Trump and you.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob. Voter out.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
Hola, Wisconsin amigos. It's Brian Noonan here for El Bandito Yankee Tequila. Get ready to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day, and not a bad accompaniment to watching and listening to election results tonight. Yeah, think about it. 100% Blue Weber Agave, award-winning, all-natural, additive-free, and the smoothest tequila Milwaukee, Madison, and Titletown have ever tasted. You can get yours today at great spots like La Pina on 3rd Street or your favorite local store. And remember, you always win with the undefeated flavor of El Bandito Yankee Tequila. For events, recipes, places to purchase El Bandito, go to elbanditoyankee.com. Muy bueno.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together, we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
It's Election Day, and this is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. We want to hear your voting stories today. 855-616-1620. Shoot us a text on whether you voted early, what the lines were like, if you're voting today. From the 414-208, number 208, no line, walked right up to the table, Northwest Side School, 79. And then someone from Genesee, out in Genesee, said they walked in and out. And it was busy, but it was flowing. So we would love to hear from you on this election day. And as we prepare for polls to close tonight, I will be on air from 8 to 11 p.m.
Yes. Providing analysis
and commentary,
Nice.
which is exciting. I'm excited to not have to just be at home scrolling my phone and changing the channel. But one of the things that I think is really important is for us to continue to push accurate information about our election process in Wisconsin and what to expect when polls close and how the certification works and how we can trust our officials who are in charge of our elections, that they are making sure every vote is counted and doing their due diligence. So joining us now to talk about all of that is former Republican Wisconsin Congressman from the 3rd District, Representative Steve Gunderson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, well, I have to ask you, did you vote early? Did you vote today?
To be honest with you, I was an early voter.
As was I.
Do you have your radio on, Representative?
I do not, but do you get an echo?
Yeah.
We get a little bit of an echo.
Okay, let me see if
It's better now. I think it's gone now.
Yep, it's gone.
It's gone. I don't know what
gone.
changed, but now I can't hear myself, which is great because I hate listening to myself. All right.
I can hear you.
So
you're all right.
I would love, because you left office in 1997, which is a very long time ago, and I think a lot has happened since then. So before we start talking about elections and how they work in Wisconsin, I would love just to get your summary of, since you've left office, how you feel like politics has changed.
Oh, dramatically. And the big thing was that we were opponents on Election Day, but we weren't opponents for the entire session of Congress. We were different parties, but we worked together in different ways. And I said the biggest difference is when I was there, we had colleagues. Today they have opponents, because in a 50-50 country where everything is so close in terms of who's going to win and who's going to control, today it's all about power. And it wasn't that way back then, because we didn't have this kind of 50-50 balance, which has produced the polarization that we all are dealing with. So it's a dramatically different era of government.
And one of the other big differences, and I don't remember this before the last election, a lot of talk about voter security and election security and cheating and things like that. What do you want people to know, the most important things about our election system?
Well, first of all, I want everybody to understand that we made dramatic improvements over the last 4 years. So what were problems 4 years ago shouldn't be problems tonight. But everybody should be aware, Russia, China, Iran, they have things in progress trying to screw up today in a way that causes a lack of confidence in our democracy. So be aware that that's happening. The second thing to really recognize is that, when I was active in politics, everybody voted on Election Day. So they just ran the ballots through that night, and we knew the next morning. Now more and more people like you and me are voting early, and that means we've got a whole different process to count many ballots. I think I heard that the director of elections in Milwaukee County say this morning on CNN that they already have well over 100,000 early ballots to count just in Milwaukee County. So be aware of the process. It's going to take patience for the voters and the citizens to let this process work out. In Wisconsin, it's probably going to be till Wednesday. If it's real close elections, could be till Thursday. In Pennsylvania, they project that they're not going to have their answers of who wins Pennsylvania till Friday or Saturday. So patience is a virtue. The other thing I want people to understand is that, hey, the voting machines you use to cast your vote, to count your votes, are not a part of the internet. So the internet spam we all experience on our computers from time to time, that can't happen in counting ballots. Just be aware of that. Very hard to hack a voting machine. It's even more difficult if you can get in to try to change somebody's vote. And the people who are experts will tell you, hey, it's impossible to do that, those two steps, without getting caught. So trust the process. Just let it work its way out.
And Representative, can you talk more about after the fact? So we're going to certification. I don't think everyone always knows that it takes place in 3 steps. There's the counting, there's canvassing, and then there's certification. And so can you talk a little bit more about what has to happen from a election worker and municipal clerk and county and state level as far as how many times these ballots get checked before we have a final count?
Yeah, it's very important to understand that, so you take that early ballot, for example, the first thing they do is they've got to open it, they've got to make sure it was filled out properly, and then they've got to verify that that voter is indeed the person that asked for the ballot and has a legal ballot and isn't voting multiple times. So you do all of that. Then you begin the counting process, and then you have to, verify that the counting process of those hundreds of thousands of ballots is accurate. And that's why you have the poll watchers on both parties watching to make sure all of this happens. When the county certifies the election, they certify it, and it then goes to the governor. And then I think it's around the 11th of December when governors in all of our states have to certify the outcome in their particular state, which then enables the winning candidate to get their electors approved to become the people who will vote in their electoral college in their state, and then send that ballot to Washington for Congress to receive sometime in early January.
All right, one of the big issues or one of the big pieces of misinformation that has been out during this campaign is illegal or undocumented immigrants getting to vote. What are the legal checks and balances that are in place now to ensure that only citizens are voting?
Well, they've always been there. It's just more of a controversy now than it probably was in the past. But what it means is that you have to have the appropriate identification to prove that you indeed are a legal citizen. And now in Wisconsin, because we have Election Day registration, what that means is that they can actually register and vote today. But at that point, then what has to happen is the county has to review what they call those particular ballots and verify that that person's residency and citizenship are indeed there before that ballot gets counted.
So that happens after. When does that step happen? Tomorrow, late tonight?
Well, it could start tonight. It's likely not to finish tonight.
Got it. All right. Well, unfortunately, we have to let you go, but thank you so much for sharing all of this information with us and spending some time with us today, Representative.
Always happy to do it. Good luck. Go Wisconsin.
Go Wisconsin.
Thanks a lot. Go Wisconsin. There you go.
He is a former Republican Wisconsin congressman from the 3rd District, Representative Steve Gunderson. Citing Unlimited News Time, 126 on Spanning the State.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
When it's time for an Aaron snowblower, buy buying local is important. Purchasing one from Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment means you're well taken care of after the sale. The Olson's knowledgeable staff handles the warranty and parts, can answer all of your questions, and is available to do tune-ups and repairs. Check out the impressive line of Aaron's snowblowers on display at the Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment showroom in Muskego. Aaron's is offering an instant in-store rebate and 2-year extended warranty. Check it out at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment in Muskego.
It's going to be a busy day here on WTMJ. We're here at Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And our thanks to our last guest, former Representative Steve Gunderson. And I was reminded of friend of the station, friend of the show, Joe Zepecki. I don't know if it was last Friday or the Friday before. I don't know when I heard him say this, but I was like, oh, that's a good reminder and a good analogy. But it's not a great analogy right now because Wisconsin sports did not have a very good weekend. The Bucks not doing great, but in general,
what, a 5 or 6 game losing streak?
As you were, just the words of Zepecki, as you were watching election results tonight, remember that this is not a live sports game where each team is going up or down and they're trading baskets or points.
Right. Yeah.
You are watching a game that has already been completed.
Okay.
You are watching a replay where all the points that have been scored have already been scored. You just don't know who has the most yet.
All right.
But everything that, as the results come in, it's not that more people are voting. It's that it just hasn't been counted yet. So with that, ABC News and local headlines.
This is a special report from ABC News, Your Voice, Your Vote. I'm Michelle Franzen. Americans lining up to cast ballots across the country. Aside from a few hiccups reported, election officials say there are no major issues. In Ohio, voter Alec Cario says there was a slight delay at his polling place in Parma.
It's moving along a little better than it was. I think they a scanner down. I got here 9:45. It's 11 now, so wasn't too bad, but I was with my mom, so I had someone to talk to.
Voters choosing if Kamala Harris or Donald Trump will be the next president, along with which party controls the House and Senate.
Los últimos segundos del partido.
Feel very good about their chances of taking the Senate. Democrats feel good about their chances of taking the House. And whoever gets into the White House, if both of those remain true, is going to be disappointed in one shape or form or function with one of the various houses of Congress.
ABC's Jay O'Brien. Election officials say they don't expect to have all the results finalized tonight. This is ABC News.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Times, 1:31. Polls do close at 8 p.m. here in the state of Wisconsin. Our special election night coverage right here on WTMJ starts at 6 p.m. That'll be with Eric Bilstad and Vince Vitrano. 8 p.m. John Mercure leads the team for a primetime coverage. And WTMJ Steve Scafidi will be on the air all night through 5 a.m. until we have a next president named. It's all right here on WTMJ and on the WTMJ mobile app. The Republican National Committee now walking back claims that election observers were turned away from polling places. The RNC had sued the city of Milwaukee yesterday, claiming that observers were being restricted at 10 places across the city. A judge has not heard the case and likely will not do so until the status hearing on November 15th. Passionate, hardworking, and caring. Just some of the words that former colleagues and friends of Milwaukee Alderman Jonathan Brostoff are using to remember their friend. Brostoff found dead in Greenfield Park on Monday. He was an alderman on Milwaukee's Lower East Side and had also served the city as a state representative. Funeral details have not yet been released. Time now for some news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow's up right now 370 points at 42,165. The Nasdaq's up 237 at 18,417. The S&P 500's in the green as well, up 60 points at 5772. Elections have consequences. Is your investment and retirement plan ready for what's next? Click the Get Started button right now at nxwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads in your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Things are looking pretty good across the system this afternoon. No major incidents, no major delays. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly cloudy skies, windy, scattered showers this afternoon, a high of 68 degrees. Overnight tonight, breezy and cooler, mostly cloudy otherwise, a low 46. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high 55. Thursday, sunny 58. Friday, sunny 60. And on Saturday, partly cloudy skies. Rain likely late. a high of 58 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 67 degrees. I'm Mike Spalding, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Times 133.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContractingWI.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
During your career, investments piled up. From 401ks to brokerage accounts, it turned into quite a collection. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe every portfolio tells a story. We've analyzed thousands. Some reflect diligence and fortitude. Others, a mishmash of overlapping investments. When Annex reviews a portfolio, we spot what works, what might not, and then provide unbiased suggestions. Every portfolio tells a story. Let's work on yours. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. That's our story. Head to AnnexWealth.com.
Here is the place where God continues to speak to us and to bless us. It's a place that welcomes us, protects the gifts He's given us, and lets us hear the repeated promises He'll remain with us.
Hear how God renews our relationship with Him through Christ, renames us in holy baptism, and remains with us through His Word. Dr. Dan Pavela's message, My Name is Now Yours, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Libby Collins here from my friends at Seniors Helping Seniors of Waukesha. They know maintaining independence is one of the greatest concerns for seniors, and that's why for over a decade, they've been serving southeastern Wisconsin, offering personalized in-home care to fit each senior's unique needs. From help with daily tasks like bathing, meal prep, and transportation, to companionship and light housekeeping, caregivers make it possible for seniors to stay in the homes they love without a contract. Interested in becoming a caregiver? Contact Seniors Helping Seniors today. shswaukesha.com.
It's time for Giving Tuesday, where we introduce you to Wisconsin people and organizations that are advocating for causes across the state. Giving Tuesday is sponsored by Seniors Helping Seniors of Waukesha. Did you know, Brian, that November is National Diabetes Month?
I did know that because my wife is diabetic.
I actually didn't know that Debbie was also diabetic. Well, there you go. Well, then you may know that this month is a time for communities across the country to seek to bring attention to diabetes, and this year's focus is taking action to prevent diabetes health problems. And we wanted to talk to a local organization that is working on awareness and advocacy and research with diabetes. So Breakthrough T1D, founded in 1970 by families whose loved ones had been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, is an organization that is the leading global type 1 diabetes research and advocacy organization that strives to make everyday life better while driving towards cures. And so joining us now is Executive Director of the Wisconsin chapter of Breakthrough T1D, Daniel Wolf. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be on. Thank you so much for the time.
Absolutely. So I was just having this conversation during lunch today, is that I feel like there is this overarching umbrella of diabetes. My dad has type 2 diabetes. As Brian just said, his wife has diabetes. So as far as awareness goes, what is important to remember of the difference between type 1 and type 2, both in how it manifests in the body, but also the differences when we talk about research, advocacy, and cures?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great question, too, when you think about, what we do here. First, is to start off about that definition of what type 1 diabetes is, right? So it's an autoimmune condition that causes the pancreas to make very little insulin or no insulin at all. It is not due to any type of diet. It is something that, that folks are, come to, and it's not really age dependent either. We just have it could be someone as young as 6 months, and it could be someone in their 50s. You never know. It's a wide variety. So we want to try to educate folks, what the differences are. So,
and what would be the difference then between type 1 and type 2?
Like I said, type 1 is more.
Well, type 1, yeah, but
thing. Yep.
What is type?
And
what is
type 2
type
is more
2?
diet related. Yeah,
it's more diet.
Type 2
okay.
is more diet related.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
So, can if type 1 is something that you have no control over, how can people prevent type 1 diabetes? Because we're talking about diabetes prevention for type 1, how does that manifest itself?
Well, the key markers that can come up are frequent urination, thirst, and sometimes it could be being confused because that blood sugar is related to that. And it's just something where those markers will come up, and folks will go into the hospital, they'll get tested, and get that diagnosis. So it's not something that unfortunately there's no cure for it, and that's where we come in to try to find a cure for things.
And so for those of us who don't necessarily have someone with type 1 diabetes in their lives, what is the reality for people with T1D, especially children?
Absolutely. Well, anyone that has type 1 diabetes, they have to manage their blood sugar throughout the day. That is done generally at first through finger pokes and testing the blood sugar that way. Thankfully, we've been able to advance technology where there's a continuous glucose monitor that can be hooked up to folks. So that there are certainly advancements there. But anyone that has type 1 diabetes really needs to make sure that every day that they're controlling their blood sugar to take care of their body. Now, that really equates to over 180 extra decisions every day that someone with type 1 has to make. And, that's something that we want to make sure that we're providing that space for them as a community to know that, hey, you're not alone. And there's other folks that deal with this too. There's over 1.5 million people in the country that have type 1. And, we're just here to make sure folks have the resources that they need to stay healthy through healthcare partners and again, through our community.
What kind of work is Breakthrough T1D doing here in Wisconsin?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, for us, we not only are we driving with fundraising, but we're also having our community events. So we just got done having our walk series a couple weeks ago, which Eric helped us out with, Eric Bilstad.
Yep.
And we had over 1,200 people there, and we raised over $280,000, which goes towards research. So, events like that, and then also partnering with healthcare partners throughout the state. So when folks do get their diagnosis, unfortunately, that we're here for them. And it starts off with that bag of hope, which we call, with there's information in there about how to, manage your type 1. There's a Rufus bear that goes along with a teddy bear. So it's all these, these components that come together to really support people while they, get their diagnosis and kind of get to that new norm in their lives.
And when we're thinking about research for T1D, is the focus on a cure? Is the focus mostly on easier ways to manage it? Or where is kind of the cutting edge research happening right now?
Well, it's a really exciting time for the organization. What we're seeing right now, there's over 50 clinical trials going on throughout the country. There are certain treatments that are coming up now where, basically what ends up happening is in the body, there are these beta cells that produce insulin. And the body attacks them, and that's, the pancreas shuts down, right? So, and stops producing insulin. So there are drugs that are being tested right now that are showing promise that folks are producing insulin again and are not having to take immunosuppressants to do that. So it's super exciting. We don't want to get, ahead of things too much, but there's so much progress between, that. And then when we look at, insulin pumps and we look at continuous glucose monitors, and all that's driven by the generosity of people.
Yeah, it is amazing, and you brought this up a little while ago about the evolution of the technology for people with T1D to monitor themselves, because I remember when we first were dating, my wife, it was constant finger pokes, and now she's got the little monitor on her arm, and it makes a difficult situation a lot easier for people, and the people who choose to have the insulin pumps, it makes it much easier for them. So, as troublesome as it still is, things are getting a little better, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're spot on. I think when we see these advancements, it gives us hope, right? And I think we'll get to the point. I'm confident in the future that we'll be able to eradicate it. It's just a matter of how we get there and those paths to making it happen. But to your point, the not having to poke your finger constantly throughout the day to check your blood sugar and having that CGM, not only is it helping folks that have type 1, but it's crossed over to type 2, and even professional athletes are utilizing the technology now for their training, which is incredible.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, as far as Breakthrough T1D, where can people get more information? How can they get involved? Where can they donate?
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing is you can find us on the web. We are Breakthrough T1D, /Wisconsin. That is us. And we'd love to have folks join us. Like I said, we just had our walk, but we also have a gala coming up March 1st, where we actually host 3 galas on one night statewide, and our goal is to raise $1.3 million.
Oh, wow. Where are they? Where is it statewide? Appleton here in Madison?
Correct. Yep, spot on. So,
good guess.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, we're super excited about it. It's a great night to celebrate, generosity and truly making a difference for those with type 1. So we have that. We also have a community summit that's going to be in Brookfield on May 3rd, where we get to share some research. There's vendors there. There's some speakers that talk about life with type 1. And again, a lot of this is just to let folks know, like, hey, this is a place to learn. This is a place for community, and to let folks know that they're not alone.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Daniel. This is great information, and thank you for all the good work that you're doing.
Appreciate the time, and it really means a lot, during National Diabetes Month. So thank you so much.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Daniel.
All right. Daniel Wolf is the executive director of the Wisconsin chapter of Breakthrough T1D, and this has been Giving Tuesday.
If you know of a Wisconsin organization you would like highlighted on Giving Tuesday, email us at spanning@WTMJ.com. We can always use a little help from our...
There's a clear choice for U.S. Senate. Career politician Tammy Baldwin wasted trillions of dollars and created crushing inflation. Baldwin opened our borders and gave taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. And she voted to put men in girls' sports. Businessman Eric Hovde will stop inflation, secure our border, and defend our Wisconsin values.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news! Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And we had someone text in asking what happens to votes that were submitted before Election Day,
right,
and then between the person mailing in their vote or dropping off their ballot and Election Day and polls closing if they happen to die. And
Yes.
I want to set the record straight that according to Wisconsin state law, those votes do not count. Poll workers and election inspectors in Wisconsin cannot count ballots filled out by people they know have died. So state officials run death certificates from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services against names in the voter registration system and work with local clerks to remove those who have passed from the statewide voter list and the poll books by Election Day.
I understand that that's the law. It seems a little off. Say if I voted, I sent in my ballot. It was postmarked. The clerk had it. They see that the date it was received. I know they have the date it was received. If I die the day after they received it, my vote should count because I was alive when I voted. I was alive when
the state law says it doesn't.
I understand.
Just because you think it should count doesn't mean it does count, Brian.
That doesn't make sense. It's like, wait, you had my ballot. I didn't change it. Nobody else filled it out. But, oh, well, good. Because that's one less bullet in the gun of voter fraud people going, all the dead people are voting.
All right. Well, it is Election Day. WTMJ's Adam Roberts has been exploring what you will notice on your ballot. So for anyone who has still not voted yet today, here is what you can expect on your ballot.
Vote. And Tom Spider-Man sent you.
We're nearly to Election Day 2024, and if you haven't early voted yet, the window to do that has now passed in Wisconsin, and your only opportunity left to cast a ballot will be in person on Election Day. So let's continue our series taking a look at what you can expect on your ballot when you head off to the polls.
All I want you to do is get out and vote.
Our final stops are to Racine and Kenosha counties, both of which are fully encompassed by U.S. House District 1 for the state of Wisconsin, where Republican incumbent Brian Stile holds power and will face challenges from Democrat Peter Barca and the Green Party's Chester Todd Jr. That race is in addition to the U.S. Senate race pitting incumbent Democrat Tammy Baldwin against Republican Eric Hovde and third-party candidates Phil Anderson and Thomas Leager. Of course, you'll also be voting for president in this election. At the state level, perhaps the most interesting race in the Wisconsin Assembly is in District 33, encompassing much of Racine County and portions of neighboring Walworth County. There, incumbent Assembly Speaker Robin Voss will face a challenge from two candidates, including an independent Kelly Clark, who was involved in recall efforts against Voss earlier this year. The Assembly Speaker will also face a challenge from Democrat Alan Kupczyk. Looking at the other contested Assembly races, in District 32, Amanda Nidweski will take on Democrat Michael Dinza. In District 64, Democrat incumbent Tip McGuire faces Ed Hipsch, the Republican. In District 65, Ben DeSmit, the Democrat, takes on Republican Brian Gonzalez. District 66 sees Democrat incumbent Greta Neubauer face a challenge from Republican David DeGroot, and in District 84, Chuck Wichgers, the Republican incumbent, takes on Zachary Roper, the Democrat. The Wisconsin State Senate sees just one contested race in Racine and Kenosha counties. In District 28, Republican incumbent Julian Bradley faces Democrat Megan Locke.
Let's do that. Let's vote.
At the municipal level, the Kenosha County District Attorney will have a two-horse race between Democrat Carly McNeil and Republican Xavier Salas. Additionally, 3 school districts, all in Racine County, will have referendums on the ballot this fall. They include Union Grove, Waterford, and the town of Raymond. Finally, a few reminders before you head off to cast your ballot this year. Since early voting has now ended, as mentioned before, you can only vote in person on Election Day, and that means you may need to register in person at your polling location if you have not yet done so. If you are registering day of, make sure to bring both a driver's license or other state-issued ID, as well as a proof of residency, things such as a lease, utility bill, or a bank statement. And as a reminder, if you are in line before the polls officially close at 8 p.m. on Tuesday, remember that you cannot be turned away and must be allowed to vote. Polls officially open Tuesday starting at 7 a.m. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
All right, for a complete rundown of all election information, visit the Decision Wisconsin section of WTMJ.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out of pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you feel self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member of the Neal Group. How's business? Do you really know? We recently worked with several clients who thought they knew, but didn't because their accounting records were not in order. Imagine thinking you were making $1 million when you were really only making $200,000. Quite a difference. Or you thought sales were down, but they were up, and you didn't notice because you were so busy putting out fires. If these happen to you, we can help. We work with our clients to develop systems and procedures to improve their business and give them the information they need to know where their business is now and where it is going in the future. Don't wait. Start on the path to less stress, more cash in your pocket, and no more sleepless nights. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net today to book a meeting. We can talk over Zoom, the phone, in our office, or at your place of business. Yes, we make house calls. Don't wait any longer. Call 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey Bucks fans, it's Justin Garcia from the Bucks Radio Network, here to tell you about the launch of the Bucks Central podcast feed. Everything Bucks, on demand, in one spot. From sideline to sideline, hear all the ankle-breaking, rim-rattling, and twine-tingling highlights, exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe to the Bucks Central podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. All the Bucks content your heart desires in one spot. Check out the Bucks Central podcast feed.
Did you wake up with joint pain? Does it hurt doing routine activities? How are those knees feeling?
Or have you been told it's hip replacement time? WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You deserve a life of comfort, not a life of repeated steroid shots that cause long-term damage. It's time to check out QC Kinetics. They'll walk you through the proper diagnostics for a non-surgical regenerative treatment. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments for joint pain. It's an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Yes, you can have real, lasting relief from joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without downtime. Learn about your options. Call QC Kinetics. Consultations are free with Saturday appointments available at locations in Greenfield and Mequon. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Election Day is finally here. Keep it tuned here to WTMJ for everything you need to know about the 2024 presidential race. Join us for our special programming starting at 6 p.m. tonight as we go wall to wall through the overnight hours to bring you the latest news and numbers of the presidential race. We are your central headquarters for Election Day coverage. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, it is 65 degrees, mostly cloudy skies throughout the remainder of the afternoon. Overnight tonight, breezy and quite the cool down, a low of 46. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Mike Spalding. Decision Wisconsin, voting day is here across the country, and locations across downtown Milwaukee are playing host to more than just voters today.
Battleground Wisconsin catching the eye of many across the country on this election day. At the Zeidler Municipal Building in downtown Milwaukee, the Middle East Broadcast Network had a crew standing by as voters headed to the polls this morning. Meanwhile, the lines at polling locations throughout downtown Milwaukee have been short to non-existent. And at the Baird Center, host of Central Count this evening, already 5 Milwaukee police cars on scene, prepping for what will likely be a very busy night. Out and about in downtown Milwaukee, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
North of Milwaukee County is where we find Wisconsin's morning news host, Eric Bilstead.
53% of the voters in this village have already cast a ballot. That said, there's been a steady stream of voters in and out of the Davians Conference Center on Silver Spring, including one woman who told me that she tried multiple times to vote early, but the line at Village Hall was always too long. So here she is today. Now, through the lunch hour, not much of a wait time, only about 10 minutes at most. I'm told that it was quite busy when the polls first opened. In Menominee Falls, Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
When it comes to the vote totals, there is some important information to remember. Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf.
The results you see on election nights are completely unofficial. That means that they have not been vetted or double or triple checked through the multiple steps that are in our law where an election becomes certified.
The public is welcome to observe the vote certification process, Wolf says. It must be completed in the state's 72 counties by November 19th. Wisconsin's official vote count will not be certified until December 1st. It'll be quite a night for those vote counters, both in Milwaukee and across the state. Milwaukee Elections Commission Executive Director Paulina Gutierrez telling WTMJ they'll start counting hundreds of thousands of ballots tonight.
Accuracy and security is our number one priority when it comes to central count, and so we're always going to prioritize that over speed.
You can follow all of our election night coverage on WTMJ.com and on the WTMJ mobile app. Here in Wisconsin, polls close up at 8 p.m., but that isn't the case around the country, and that could lead to quite the late evening. 538's Galen Droop.
If you're taking a look at North Carolina, which we expect to know some data earlier on in the evening, and most of the results we're getting are from rural counties and it favors Trump, well, that's to be expected. Harris is expected to do better in those urban and suburban counties, so maybe we need to wait to get a fuller picture of those places before we draw any conclusions about how, say, North Carolina is going or Georgia or any of the other states.
It's not just the pick for the 47th president of the United States, but for the 119th Congress as well. Every seat in the House is on the ballot today, as well as 34 seats in the U.S. Senate. Voters in 10 states, including Arizona and Nevada, will decide whether or not abortion rights should be enshrined into law. Time now for some news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up right now 330 points at 42,125. The Nasdaq up 209 at 18,389. The S&P 500's up 54 points at 5766. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Details right now at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 2:04.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Numbness, tingling in the hands, arms, legs, feet. Time to go see Dr. Alex Young and my team at Connect Chiropractic. Regular chiropractic care can bring life-changing results for folks who suffer from neuropathy and fibromyalgia, nervous system issues that can be corrected. And no worries about twisting, cracking, or popping. The docs at Connect Chiro use all the same method, a special tool that is pain-free and effective for your adjustments. Visit them in Delafield and Wauwatosa or get started online at goconnectchiro.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by MJ's TV partner, Lisa Byington. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Katie, Inspired Closets got another 5-star review.
That's great to hear, Dan. Another client saved from builder-grade wire shelving.
Plus, Inspired Closets was able to double their storage space, their closet, entryway, and pantry,
which calmed the chaos in their home.
Find what you're looking for and find it faster.
Don't wait any longer. Double your existing storage today.
Inspired Closets will calm your chaos. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
A wife and husband team.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. It is trade deadline day in the NFL, and the Packers have entered the chat. NFL.com's Ian Rappaport says the Packers have traded pass rusher Preston Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers. In return, the Packers get a 7th-round pick. A former Packers also on the move. The Lions, in a trade with the Browns, acquired former linebacker Zadarius Smith. The trade deadline is set for 3 o'clock this afternoon. And in Major League Baseball, Brewers general manager Matt Arnold picking up an award. He was named MLB's Executive of the Year. Taking a look now at your roads in your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving, time saver traffic. Things are looking pretty good across the system. We do have a couple of incidents. It's wet out there, so we do have a car that looks to be spun out a little bit on the 794 eastbound at the ramp from Broadway Street. The right shoulder blocked right now. There is a sheriff's squad car on scene. Does not look like traffic is backed up too much. Elsewhere on the system, things are looking pretty good.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, breezy and cool this evening. Mostly cloudy skies, a low 46. Tomorrow, cloudy 55. Thursday, mostly sunny 58. Friday, mostly sunny 60. And on Saturday, partly cloudy skies, rain shower likely late, a high of 58 degrees. In Madison, 62. Green Bay, 56. Waukesha, 65. In Milwaukee right now, 65 degrees. I'm Mike Spalding, citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 208.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
So much happens in Wisconsin. We try to highlight some stories you might have missed. If you want more details on any of these stories, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. All right, our last spin before the election. I don't know if that is
it's
meaningful,
relevant,
but we're going to see anyway. What if it turns out to be?
True.
It is true.
Whether it matters, makes a difference? No, but that's okay.
Does anything we do matter? That's a whole different question.
That takes
deep.
another level.
Yeah, very, very deep. Here we go.
Madison.
All right, love it or hate it, you can't deny the popularity of sauerkraut, especially in Wisconsin. Our love of the fermented cabbage condiment has led Fermented Food Holdings, better known as FFH, to move its headquarters from Miami to Madison. They also plan to expand their sauerkraut factory in northeastern Wisconsin. FFH, I'm looking. Everybody's flailing because it was very low. The factory, which is, they formed in 2021, FFH, and they've been gobbling up fermented food brands ever since. One of those brands is Great Lakes Kraut in Bear Creek. The factory, which is west of Green Bay, is slated for a $13 million expansion, which is great. Moving the headquarters to Wisconsin, where German heritage remained strong, was a natural for the company's leadership. Wisconsin is the fourth largest producer of cabbage in the country. Did you know that, Kristen?
I did not know that.
See, this is very educational, not only entertaining.
Fourth largest producer of cabbage.
That's right. That's why we're whipping up so much sauerkraut. FFH's CEO said in a statement, quote, "A big motivation for us to get closer to the source and strengthen our relationships with local farmers. We were buying from brokers, buying from farms that were certified organic, but we didn't know the people growing the product," end quote. One of the world's largest producers of sauerkraut and fermented foods, FFH ships its products to all 50 states and internationally. So we're going to get more kraut here in Wisconsin. More kraut. The kids are all screaming, "More kraut, please, more kraut." All right, let's see what's next. And let's see if this one is louder. I've got it turned up all the way. Nope.
It's a quiet spinning today.
Shh, everybody.
Stevens Point.
All right. Well, you, just like the cabbage thing, you may not know this, but forest products are a $24.4 billion with a B dollar industry in Wisconsin, which makes it the state's fourth largest manufacturing sector. That might explain why Wisconsin's Economic Development Agency awarded a $4 million grant to support innovation in forest product development at UW's Stevens Point, Wisconsin Institute for Sustainable Technology, also known as WIST.
That's much easier.
It's much easier to say. Or maybe it's WIST. I'm thinking it's WIST, but I think it could be WIST for all I know. Someone will let me know. A report in the Wausau Daily Herald said WIST received the grant in March after the Institute's application for a federal grant made it a final round but was not selected. Governor Tony Evers and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation leaders saw the value of the Institute's work and decided to award the grant from the state's funds. Since receiving the grant, Paul Fowler, the executive director of WIST, or WIST, whatever we're going with, has added 4 new staff members, student interns, and laboratory equipment to help research on compostable materials and plant growth applications. One specific project the Institute is working on is compostability and recyclability testing in fiber-based products, which may provide data to businesses with product development and market entry.
So far, this is a very science-heavy spinning the state.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Compostability, not compostability.
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 I did not know forest products were that big in industry. But
Yeah,
now-
I mean, that
now
was
we
the
know.
original, if you like the
Paper.
Well, the paper mill, but also that's what the Wisconsin River was originally really used for, was all in the North Woods, chopping those trees down and setting them down the river.
There you go. Well, that's a lot of dough.
In a van down by the river.
Oh, I would love to be in a van down by the river, especially if this isn't any louder. Oh, there it is. Whew, I'm saved from horrible accommodations.
Green Bay.
Green Bay, you know, if it's Green Bay and it's me, it's got to be a beer story, and it is. When was the last time you sent a postcard, Kristen?
I don't know.
All right. Well, good news. There's something happening in Green Bay that is being called a postcard you can put in your fridge. Stillmank Brewing Company has released their new Green Bay draft beer, and it comes in a beautiful, colorful can that is considered handheld art.
Ooh.
The Press Gazette reports that the can is a colorful collage by well-known local muralist Bo Thomas. It features iconic things assorted with Green Bay and the surrounding area, from the Leo Frigo Memorial Bridge to the Tyrannosaurus Rex sculptures outside the Neville Public Museum to the National Railroad Museum's trade history and all the beer, brats, and wildlife and waterways in between. Brad Stillmank, who is the brewmaster and owner of Stillmank Brewing, said, quote, "We wanted to highlight as many Green Bay landmarks and images associated with Green Bay as possible. So when people are coming in from out of town, they maybe give the beer a try, and then when they're at a restaurant or somewhere. Green Bay draft beer is a honey malt lager that Stillmank describes as clean, crisp, and on the lighter side. The honey malt gives it a bit of biscuity type flavor and a touch of sweetness. And our boss, Mike Spalding, was at my desk as I was looking at this can, so we may have to do a road trip.
It's beautiful.
Green Bay. It's a gorgeous. It's really
it looks
pretty.
like stained glass.
Yeah.
Like it's very pretty.
It's very pretty. Sounds delicious. If you're in Green Bay and you want to bring us some, we would, we'll reimburse you. We're not afraid. All right, that is Spinning the State for today. If you want any more details on any of the stories we covered, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. And when we come back, really sad news coming out of Milwaukee's Common Council yesterday. And Kristen has some thoughts on that, so we'll get that on the other side. It is Spanning the State.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch.
Go to a place of safety now. A tornado warning is in effect.
The danger in the thunderstorm alone is definitely there. We have wind gusts where it's at 50 miles per hour and lots of lightning in this storm system.
Keeping you updated on the weather so you can keep you and your family safe with severe weather coverage on WTMJ. Sponsored by Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Here's what Tammy Baldwin thinks about President Trump and you.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob. Vote her out.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off and 0 interest for 12 months on your Luckstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hi, I'm Lori from Sussex, and I'm a future resident of the Westerly. The pool was the big draw for me. I'm also looking forward to the camaraderie on the rooftop patio, and I might have to take up golf. Well, I have specific needs and looked at quite a few retirement communities, and nothing really checked off all the boxes until I learned about the Westerly. I'm confident now that I made the right decision.
If you're seeking Lake Country's finest, don't miss out on the Westerly, opening this spring. Visit livingwesterly.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and really sad news coming out of the Common Council, and it happened yesterday right after our show.
Right after our show, we were sitting and doing our post-show breakdown and our pre-show for tomorrow, talking about it, and our boss, Mike Spalding, sat down and kind of, I don't know if casually, but he said, Jonathan Brostoff? And I said, yeah. He's my alderman. He's also a friend. And he had said the news that he died and that they suspected that it was suicide. And it's been a minute since I feel like I got hit with a ton of bricks like that, as far as just that kind of suspension of disbelief.
You must have said, "Are you serious?" about 6 or 7 times, trying to get your head around it.
Because for anyone who was lucky enough to know him, he was enthusiastic and energetic and charismatic. Like, he was just not the guy that you thought this would be the demons he was struggling with.
Yeah.
And, he, as Mike and I were talking about it last night, he was the first. At this point, he was still in the assembly, but when Mike ever had ideas of running for anything, Brostoff was the first person who sat down and took a meeting with him. He had just done a listening session in our neighborhood. I think especially once he got into the Common Council and not in the minority in the assembly in the last 2 years, of when he was able to get more stuff done on the east side and represent the east side. He was a really dedicated public servant. And I think for anyone who knows him, and I think for so many people who are out and trying to get out the vote today and celebrate democracy, and this is a big cloud over Milwaukee today.
Yeah, 41 little kids and a wife. It's horrible, and now he had not been secretive about his struggles with his mental health. He had put an article in the Journal Sentinel. I think it was 2019.
Was it Journal Sentinel or was it Wisconsin State Journal?
Oh, maybe it was a state journal. But he had outlined his struggles with mental health in the past and what he had done to try to fix it. And anybody who struggles with that stuff knows it's not a one-time fix. It's an ongoing thing. And even friends sometimes miss those signs. Yeah. Like you said, you run into people and they seem like they've got everything's going okay, aside than the normal worries that we all have. But you never know what's going on in there. And boy, it's a scary place when you get to the point where it culminates in what happened yesterday.
Yeah. And I was thinking back to, was it May, when we had John Dietrich from Journal Sentinel on, and his series on firearms and suicide in Wisconsin, and we had that event in Wausau, which was, for me, getting to hear people who own gun stores and are gun owners and really trying to tackle mental health inside of the gun community. It was incredibly eye-opening to be witness to that. And even hearing someone who talk in person in real life in those moments where it is that dark, and how you really don't, reaching out to anyone isn't really on your mind.
The biggest thing in that moment, and I'm not just talking off the cuff, the biggest thing in that moment is you don't think anyone would care anyway. And so it doesn't. And sometimes you can find that little piece of light, the little something to grab onto, and that can pull you back and keep you around. And sometimes some people can't. And that's when, and unless you've gone through it, you can empathize, you can read up. It's very hard to understand. And it's so sad for him, for his family, for his kids. It's horrible.
And from Milwaukee. I think seeing the outpouring of condolences and stories and anecdotes of so many people who knew him and cared about him and felt the difference that he made. It's a huge loss.
Yeah, it's a loss for everybody who knew him personally. It's a loss for everybody in Milwaukee who he worked to help. Ironically, he did do a lot of work on mental health and suicide prevention and all the, in addition to all the other things he worked on in the city. It's a shame that in the end he couldn't help himself.
I know.
You know. All right, let's take a little break. Do this. When we come back, we will do some more because it is Spanning the State.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Get the most up-to-date financial advice and the freshest thinking on investments, tax strategies, estate planning, and more. You'll learn how our team-based approach at Creative Planning helps ensure all aspects of your wealth are working harder together. Don't settle for anything less than a customized and comprehensive financial plan and portfolio. Give your wealth a second look by going to creativeplanning.com/radio.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With shorter days in the forecast, brighten up now with top quality lighting and ceiling fans at unbeatable prices. At our award-winning showroom, you'll see our new display of Visual Comfort brand lighting along with their newest LED lights and ceiling fans. We carry every major brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturdays from 10 to 4. We're located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Restaurant prices are soaring, but not at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here, one of my favorite places, family-owned for almost 50 years. I took my daughters there. Great memories. It's super affordable, and it's so much fun. Every Tuesday, the authentic Mexican buffet is all you can eat, and it's just $9.99. It's the best Tuesday dining value, $9.99. Kids 5 and under eat free today from that kids menu. They can safely play in the world-class game room, quietly tucked away from the dining area while you finish up your meal. Stop today after school. Check this out. The Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry is just $7.99. Whoa! That's crazy. From 2 till 5 today, beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh, right near EAA. Walk in today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. MineshaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and we would be remiss if we did not mention that a former alderman from the South Side, Alderman Terry Witkowski, also died yesterday of natural causes. He was in the Common Council for 16 years, from 2003 to 2019. He stepped down when he was 74. He'd lived in his South Side district since 1955, a longtime leader of the Milwaukee Safety Commission. He was champion of his Southside district. So the mayor announced his death yesterday of natural causes. So big losses in Milwaukee yesterday.
And also, we should have said this in the previous segment, but if you or someone you know is having suicidal thoughts, you can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988 or text Hope Line to the National Crisis Text Line at 741-741.
Yes, and it's No one will judge you if you call those numbers.
No.
So don't, and they want you to call. You're not an imposition. You're not bothering anybody. Those are people who maybe you feel you can't talk to the people closest to you because it would be a burden. These people are there to carry your burden. So give it to them.
And in also in line with Election Day, I remember reading that specifically today, with anxieties as high as they are and people feeling as how high they think the stakes are of this election, that the crisis lines across the state, for if you call 988 today, in the next couple days, are prepared for longer wait. Well, I mean, you should be prepared for longer wait times, but they have staffed appropriately to hope to mitigate longer wait lines.
Well, that makes sense. On the other side of the news, this is very exciting. We teased this yesterday.
Yes, and I teased it on Steve's show this morning.
All right, so we have the big question, the overarching question is, do celebrity endorsements or celebrity opinions really matter when it comes to affecting how we vote? Well, we talked to two A-list celebrities, and we're going to let you can guess. If you want to guess who they are, 855-616-1620. You can text us in your guesses, because I'm not going to tell you right now. That would ruin the surprise.
The anticipation.
Yes, this is an old school radio tease. We want you to stay where you sweep through the bottom of the hour and all those other
technical terms. You got to listen to the news
terms.
again. You got to listen to a couple more political ads.
But
what did we say? What did our last political ad today is going to be?
6:58. Yes.
And like as soon as the polls close.
Yes. So
all right.
So that's coming up, because TMJ4 said theirs was at 4:58. So we have 2 extra hours of political ads because, we need the money. Let's be honest. We got to get paid.
But yes, who do you think we spoke to as far as we've hyped this up? I'm waiting for people to be like, oh, that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
I think it is. Sherwin Hughes over at The Truth got wind of one of the people we talked to, and he said he was very jealous.
Okay, I'm guessing it's number 2.
Yes.
All right. See, I would. That was the one. I was a little sad because I had to miss the interview with number 1. I would have been excited to talk to them as well. But if I were given the choice, I would go with number 2.
And I would say I would like to put out on record, I don't really let celebrities tell me who to vote for. I'm more fascinated with the amount of celebrities who are involved. And by the question of, does it move the needle just because of, for low information voters, like, does it raise awareness? Like, because there's been a lot of them. There's been a lot in Wisconsin. And so we got to talk to 2 of them. So let us know, 855-616-1620. Who do you think we talked to? And we'll be back after ABC News and local headlines.
This is a special report from ABC News. Your voice, your vote. I'm Michelle Franzen. Americans are casting ballots this election day. Battleground states could be the key in this tight race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump for the president. Carly Breinheimer is a teacher in Pennsylvania and says she voted for Harris.
And when I look at the other side, honestly, I see a bunch of offensive comments and foul language and attacking people who are from all around the world.
Concerns heightened over security. Former President Trump voted in West Palm Beach, Florida today and was asked by reporters if he and his supporters will accept the outcome if he does not win.
I don't have to tell them that there'll be no violence. Of course there'll be no violence. My supporters are not violent people.
The former president will be at his Florida estate watching the results when polls close. Vice President Harris will hold an election watch event at her alma mater, Howard University in Washington, D.C. Election officials say the final results may not be in tonight. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:31. I'm John Mercure. The Republican National Committee sues the Milwaukee Election Commission, accusing the group of limiting poll watchers. The Milwaukee Election Commission refutes the claims. It says at no point was the Republican Party denied the presence of an observer during early voting and won't be denied today. No school for Milwaukee Public School students on this election day. Many MPS schools are used as voting locations. Citing student and staff safety, the district decided to close all schools today. In-person classes are canceled at Greenfield High School today after a threat discovered at the school yesterday. Students reported writing on the bathroom wall, and several images of the message were posted on social media. And additionally, classes are canceled today at Milwaukee's Pius High School after separate threats there. They will be virtual the rest of the week. Passionate, hardworking, caring, just some of the words that former colleagues and friends of Milwaukee Alderman Jonathan Brostoff are using to remember their friend. Brostoff was found dead by suicide in Greenfield Park yesterday. Brostoff was an alderman on Milwaukee's Lower East Side and had also served Milwaukee as a state rep. Funeral details have not yet been released. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. On this election day, everything is in the green. Pretty well, too. The Dow is up 357 points. The NASDAQ up 248. The S&P is up 61 points on the day. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. All right, how about those roads? The WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic right now on Election Day. No noticeable slowdowns or delays. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, breezy, cooler, a low of 46 degrees with a chance for rain. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a high of 55. Thursday, sunny, 58. On Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 60. On Saturday, rain late, a high of 58 degrees. Right now in Madison, it is raining at 62 degrees. In Green Bay, mostly cloudy, 56. In Milwaukee, mostly cloudy and 67 degrees. I'm John Mercure, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
Call quality for the signature service you deserve.
For 60 years, we've been known as Quality Heating, offering the highest levels of HVAC expertise. But when I took over for Greg, I saw the potential to add services for all your home needs. We do heating and cooling so well, I figured, why not offer new trades to give all-around home service to our customers? So along with heating and cooling, we now offer top-flight plumbing and electric services. There's no subs here, and we all work under the quality code of taking pride in the Midwestern work ethic, and more importantly, Midwestern morals. You know, much of our trade has gone corporate with private equities, but we remain a family-owned company. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality, offering heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. For the signature service you deserve, call Quality.
Call quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, now offering heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The cameras here.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. Yes, the cameras were near. Everybody has been swinging through Wisconsin. Republicans, Democrats, their proxies, and some of those proxies are very glitzy.
Well, it's been interesting because we have had being, the biggest stick of the state.
Yep.
We've had opportunities and to the offer of different celebrities who have been campaigning to come on the show. And I think for us,
a lot
of them. And for us, we are not a straight political show. Our show is here to talk about a lot of different Wisconsin stories. Our show is to talk about sometimes policy, but also human interest.
Yes.
And so just having a platform where all these celebrities can come on and stump for their candidate doesn't really make sense.
And to just so people know this, full disclosure, we were not getting pitched celebrities for the Republican side.
Yes.
So we also don't want to just throw on a million people on the Democratic side because that's not what we're doing.
Yes. And so, some of the names probably people don't know, like Adam Brody is more of a, I would say, millennial and younger name. Would you know Adam Brody if I
know he's an actor. I'm trying to I get him confused with Adam Driver. Isn't Adam
Adam Driver is Adam
Yes.
Driver is the actor who was in the newer Star Wars.
Yes, yeah, that's who I get.
They look very different.
I know, but I
Adam Brody was from the OC.
Oh, then no.
Okay. I forgot what his new show is on. He has some new show with Kristen Bell on the Netflix.
Oh, Nobody Wants That?
Yes.
I've never seen the show.
But then there was also like Mark Cuban was here,
Ooh, we all
right?
know
Kerry
Mark Cuban.
Washington was here. Jennifer Garner was here. There was lots and lots of celebrities. And so we did end up talking to two. We talked to one on Friday while you were out, so I got to talk to this person alone. And then yesterday at the last minute, we also got to talk to someone that I think a lot of people were like, well, that is a living legend.
Yeah, you got to talk to them when they come. The big question we had is if it really matters. Does it push the needle? And I found this interview from a director of the Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement at the Jonathan Tisch College of Civic Life at Tufts University.
Okay.
And this person said, basically, I'll boil it down. It really doesn't move the needle except for young voters, for somebody who may be voting in their first or second election.
Interesting.
And they don't have a lot of life experience. They don't have a lot of background, but they know, hey, I like celebrity X. And so for the first or second election, they may just follow that. But the thinking is, if these celebrity endorsements for the young voters get them hooked into being civically active, that they will then stay that way throughout the thing. So for you and I, and for a lot of people, it
probably
means
a lot of our
nothing.
listeners are like, this is fluff.
But if you're 18, 19, 20, and this is your first election, and all of a sudden, you see whoever, it might help.
All right. Well, we got to ask our two guests what they thought the role of celebrities were in campaigning. So our first guest was no other than Carrie Bradshaw. Sarah Jessica Parker joined us over the phone on Friday, and this is how she answered that question. When it comes to political campaigns, what role do you think celebrities play, and why do you think it is such a part of the campaign to bring people with these kinds of platforms to swing states?
I guess it simply sometimes allows a hotter, whiter spotlight on issues that are important. I'm actually not necessarily, that's why I always sort of distinguish myself, because I grew up in a family that was political from the time, long before I was born. I just sort of think of it as my responsibility, my civic duty to be involved. But I do understand that public personalities, whether they're celebrities or whatever, that's a word that I have a kind of slight allergy to, they have the opportunity to amplify messaging. And I think a lot of us try to be really responsible about that too, because the last thing you want to do is hurt a campaign. You don't want to be uninformed. You don't want to be dismissive of people who disagree with you. You want to be thoughtful and you want to listen. And that really actually speaks to the stark contrast between these two candidates. One person who is really interested in the future, in optimism, in opportunity, in hearing from people who disagree. I think the vice president has made a point over and over again to court people who aren't necessarily completely ideologically aligned. She is open to all. And that's sort of the way I was raised, is that you listen to other people, you learn from other people, you're engaged, you're thoughtful, you have hard conversations. But our job as citizens is to constantly reach out to our neighbors, to constantly reach out to people who are marginalized, left on the sidelines, don't have a voice. And I've just always felt like that was something that I was expected to do, whether I was a school teacher or a plumber or an engineer or a physician or a radio host. This is the way I would live my life. And it's something that I want for my daughters and my son. I want them to be involved.
So that was Sarah Jessica Parker that we got to speak to for about 15 minutes on Friday. But then yesterday,
this was exciting because because of As Goes Wisconsin, you're getting all these, as you mentioned, you're getting all these pitches. And all of a sudden, I get a text from you, hey, do you want to talk to Robert De Niro? And to be honest, I didn't care what he was going to talk about. I was like, yeah, sure. Yes, as long as we don't bring up Rocky and Bullwinkle, I
Is that the only one of his movies you don't like?
It was a horrible
I didn't
bomb.
see
It was a money grab. But yeah, from Mean Streets all the way on. Robert De Niro's a legend. You can't Godfather 2? Come on, what are you talking about? So Robert De Niro came on, and you asked him the same question you asked Sarah Jessica Parker. Hey, Robert, what do you think your endorsement or your speaking out does?
I don't know. I'm just doing what I really feel that I have to, because it's so upsetting and extremely disturbing that this person has gotten as far as he has and has done so much damage to date as he has. That I have to say something. I have to say it when I can and where I can. I hope it makes a difference. I don't know. You're a celebrity. You should what? You have no feelings. You don't see the handwriting on the wall. You don't see what's happening right in front of your eyes. Because Trump is the kind of person that, do you believe your lying eyes, or do you believe me? It's basically what it is. Because the guy doesn't know how to tell the truth.
I love that he addressed the stay in your lane mentality of a lot of people, because, yeah, Robert De Niro, Sarah Jessica Parker, anybody else who came to Wisconsin, or Beyonce, anybody who's supported a candidate, Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock, whatever, they're citizens too, so they have a right to speak their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you listen to them or not, that's your decision. But just because they are celebrities or they play act for a living, they do have a platform, and whether you want to believe it or not, they reach more people than Joe.
They reach more
average
people
Joe.
than even we do, who has a radio show,
yes,
right? Like, there's a
exactly.
lot more people who, whether you can say, I don't care whether or not Taylor told me to vote, or Taylor Swift
Sure.
told me who she's going to vote for. She's got a much bigger microphone than almost anyone on the planet. And it's news, right? It's news
Of course.
often when some of these people do stuff. So it was very fun. Like I said, it was a cool opportunity, and certainly a perk of this job is getting chances like that to talk to people that otherwise we may never get a chance to talk to. And so we did have some fun with them,
Yes.
though. And so I wanted to ask, because for anyone who's watched Sex and the City, they probably can remember that Carrie Bradshaw, notoriously not very political. There was one episode where she was dating like someone who I think was running for state senate, or maybe he was a state senator, and that was basically as much into politics as she waded. And so I had asked Sarah Jessica Parker, well, I'll just play the clip. Notoriously, Carrie Bradshaw, not very political in the late 90s, early 2000s. Do you think she would be off the sidelines right now?
I have no doubt. First of all, she's a childless cat lady. Let's just start with that. Okay? So that would be enormously insulting. I think, listen, I think that it would be hard for her to not be witness to what was happening and not have an opinion, because also what Carrie wrote about was sexual politics, and that is playing a huge role in this campaign, not just out of curiosity, but out of objecting to the narrative that we need anybody to protect us whether we like it or not. This is not the way we treat the women in this country. So I think Carrie Bradshaw would be inspired and motivated, and would probably be somebody that would find interest, frankly, in working the polls.
Ooh.
She might even be an election worker.
With a great outfit. And we're running out of time, but we also got to joke with Robert De Niro.
Yes, one of our spies, your husband, told us he had been at a football game on Sunday.
Exactly. To end on a high note, we saw that you were at the Eagles game yesterday.
Yeah.
What do we have to do to get you to a Green Bay Packers game?
We'll see.
I would say I would go out and live and say, Green Bay Packer fans, much more welcoming than the Eagles fans.
Were you
They were welcoming. They were very nice.
That's because of your character in Silver Lighting's playbook.
Yeah,
right. Were you there with Bradley Cooper? Were you guys hanging out, reminiscing?
No, Bradley wasn't there, but he's to Philadelphia.
Did you have fun, though?
But he wasn't there this time. Yeah, I had a good time.
Great. All right. Well, we got to take a quick break, but we'll tell you a little bit more about our conversation with Robert De Niro on the other side of this.
Here's what Tammy Baldwin thinks about President Trump and you.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob. Voter out.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Fleet Farm's got everything you need for everyday life. Brands from Carhartt to Milwaukee to Purina to Goodyear to Rapala to Levi's and a whole lot more. In-store or online, check out all the brands Fleet Farm carries to help make your everyday life better.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry, and you may have heard me talk about my new dentist because I can't say enough about Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care. Do you want your best smile for all those holiday family photos coming up? You should go see my guy at Economwalk Dental Care because he is going to make sure you and your family love your smile. Are you worried about cost? At Economwalk Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry is no longer a dream. It's the reality. Dr. Michael's fantastic staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not put it off any longer. Call and make an appointment today, 262-567-7224. You deserve to feel confident about your smile, so go see my new dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economwalk Dental Care.
Did you wake up with joint pain? Does it hurt doing routine activities? How are those knees feeling? Or have you been told it's hip replacement time? WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You deserve a life of comfort, not a life of repeated steroid shots that cause long-term damage. It's time to check out QC Kinetics. They'll walk you through the proper diagnostics for a non-surgical regenerative treatment. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative cellular treatments for joint pain. It's an all-natural approach that harnesses your body's own healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain. Yes, you can have real, lasting relief from joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without downtime. Learn about your options. Call QC Kinetics. Consultations are free with Saturday appointments available at locations in Greenfield and Mequon. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
Indeed, indeed. Well, if you want to listen to our conversation with Robert De Niro or Sarah Jessica Parker, you can listen to the whole conversation via podcast. Just text STS to 855-616-1620, and we will send you to the Spanning the States page on WTMJ.com.
And you can go there every day because we post all the stuff from Spinning the State. We post all our interviews. But yes, all of Sarah Jessica Parker's conversation with Kristen and all of our conversation with Robert De Niro are there. And I was admittedly very psyched that Robert De Niro, we were going to get to talk to him. But I controlled my fanboy part.
You did a good job.
Until the very last sentence. But the funniest thing was, now I don't know how it was when Sarah Jessica Parker called, but for those, we'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Usually when you're going to talk to a politician or a celebrity, they have someone else call, and
there's
it's all set up.
assistants, there's handlers, yeah.
And they'll say, all right, hold for Sarah Jessica Parker, or hold for,
her assistants got on the line first, yeah.
So we're in the production room yesterday, and Isaac was sitting in producing for us because Rhea was busy flitting around doing whatever she was. Too cool to hang with Robert De Niro. She was actually getting ready for the show because we thought we were going to be late. The phone rings. Isaac picks it up, and he looks very confused because he says hello, and then his face was like, because he said to us on the other end, he said, hello, WTMJ, and a voice on the other end said, hi, this is Bob De Niro. I like Bob De Niro.
No assistant, no handler, just like, hey, this is Bob.
Yeah. What do you want? What do you want to talk to me about?
Ready to talk. Let's go.
And he was
I
ready.
was given a number to call, so I'm calling the number.
Yeah. What do you guys got to say to me? And he was ready to go. Boy, and what we talked about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we respected his time. We had to get ready for the show, but it was. I love that. I think he sounded like he was in a cab.
Yeah,
he was just going somewhere else, just making calls.
And he wasn't putting on like a theatrical voice or being overly. It was like, yeah. Well, this is why I'm doing it. But it was very cool.
It was very cool. All right. Well, get out there and vote if you have not voted.
Last chance.
And I will be back from 8 to 11 tonight.
Good luck tonight.
I am very excited to be active and engaged during election results.
Do you believe Steve will try to corral you to stay after 11 for part of his overnight extravaganza?
He'll probably ask.
Politics palooza.
We'll see how much energy I have if I accept or not. But because if I have to go home and just stay awake anyways because I can't fall asleep, then I might as well be doing something.
Stay here and talking. The big election coverage starts at 6:00 right here on WTMJ. So be listening, be watching, all of that stuff. But please go and vote. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
There was an incident on Blue Mountain Road going eastbound.